Hello, YouTube fam. How y'all doing? It's your Uncle Tim. It's Uncle Tim Rants and Reviews, a channel where I rant and I review. I'm your host, Uncle Tim. Small businesses are closing left and right because they can't afford to be open anymore. Previous years, man, they were doing fantastic. I mean, at this time of the year, man, they had so much money, they couldn't not be open. They could not have people working, they could not be open for 10 and 12 hours because people were coming and buying stuff. Now that people are keeping their money in their pocket, not spending it on everything, it's starting to look kind of suspect for them. You cannot compete with a bigger mom and pop store. When I say mom and pop stores, these mom and pop stores can't compete, I mean, with places like Walmart and Target. Think about it. If you had a small coffee shop, man, and this, independent on, you're not going to pay 10 or $15 for no damn coffee. You just not. Especially when you probably could get it at Starbucks for $8 damn dollars. Dude, or McDonald's or Dunkin' Donuts, you're not going to pay that price when you don't have to. A lot of people, they shop around, they start looking. Now, I hear a lot of the small business owners saying, "Hey, look, we gotta pay for stuff now. They went up on, like all the ingredients, like, protein, which is like meat and stuff like that. They went up on all the vegetables and fruits and stuff that they serve as sides and stuff. They went up on the utensils, like the plates, like the styrofoam plates and forks and napkins. So they said, hey, we gotta pass that on to the customer. I get it. Then you look at the portion size, it's smaller. See, the thing is, people understand what you're going through, but they don't have to participate. Just because you losing money or you raise the prices don't mean that people gonna stay with you. There's so many other options out here for every damn thing. If you have a Mexican restaurant and you going up on your prices and it's one right across the street, it used to be two Mexican places. One was doing so much, it was doing fantastic. People were in there so damn much. And it was one across the street. But one day, one of them burned down. And I'm like, and everybody was going to the other one. I'm like, oh man, I don't know what that's about. But the reason why I say that is it's changing out here for everybody. You got these car places that, usually do work on people's cars. They're not getting a lot of people. And they was like, wait, hold on. What, people ain't getting their car fixed? People don't have the money to get their car fixed. Especially if something costs like $2,000 to get fixed. They're like, shit, hell with this. Dude, you got to understand. If you ain't got no money, they ain't got no money. And if they do got money, they saving it for something that's important. Man, economy breakdown is just a hellified thing. You see people who can't even live anymore. It's hard to be alive right now, man. And I'm just being honest. People have been talking to me about this for the longest, man. I've been hearing this from every damn body. And, I've been looking at it and I'm like, damn, doing the math on it. Dude, the shit is what it is. It's hard to really, talk about when people really don't want to see it. Small businesses are failing due to some of the shit they doing themselves. Like I said, when shit is good, people do things they shouldn't do. The same thing Funko did. Even though Funko is a giant organization, giant company, corporation, my thing is when things are good, just ride with it. Don't go hiring new people. Don't go buy new equipment yet. Just let this shit sit for a while. See how long this is going to last before you start investing in anything. Because, see, if you just doing what you're doing and you able to keep going with it, you can still have money. But see, people invest in certain business products like, oh, I bought a new stove. I bought a new cappuccino machine, for the shop, and I bought new sandwich equipment, Bruh, okay, it was doing, but we doing really good. But see, you don't know how the next year gonna look. Dude, I known people who were braiding hair getting hand over fist. They had these little small shops, man, and people were just coming in. I mean, you had to turn people away. This is how much their business was. But now, shit, you got to fight to get them in there. People are not spending $60 and $70 to get their hair done. And think about it. I'm a bald head guy. I cut my hair with a straight razor sometimes. And I used to go to the shop, man. Back when I used to go to the shop, It used to cost $30 to cut my hair. Now it's 75. I went to the shop just to get them to cut my hair. The dude charged me 75 damn dollars to cut me bald. I'm like, wait, hold on. I said, how much do a cut cost? He said, all the cuts here cost $75. And I'm wondering, and he asking like, why they're not getting a lot of people. I said, that's a lot of damn money just to cut people up. I said, you got to be doing something else for $75, right? I said, are you conditioning the hair? Are you washing their hair? What are you doing? Man, I'm just cutting and, putting the white lines. And I'm like, bro, see, that's one of the problems there. I said, nobody see the bigger issue here. Think about it. You got these small side clinics that used to do business. And the thing is, you go to the damn clinic, it's like a damn hospital. They charging you hospital prices. And all of a sudden now you like, man, hell, I got to leave here. You go to some of these little side pharmacies that's not associated with anybody, independently owned, you start realizing that some of their medications are higher than the damn places that you normally go to. And I don't understand how that works. But, again, that's not my place to understand. My biggest thing, man, when those prices start changing, this is why people start shopping differently. They don't owe you nothing. Nobody owes you anything. If I don't want to shop there, I don't have to. If I don't want to spend my money with you, I don't have to. Again, at the end of the day, it's all about convenience. If you don't want to do this with that person, you don't have to. See, people been looking at it for the longest like you supposed to, be in there fixing shit for people. You don't owe nobody nothing, man. You never have. And see, that's the thing with people. Everybody feels that you owe them something. Like, everything that's happening with them is your fault for some reason. It's not. These businesses are failing. Like this guy, he had this, it's kind of like a SUV that kind of looked real luxury-like. I think it was a Cadillac Escalade. And it was called Black Car, I think. Something like that. And it was just amazing. He was doing really good. But see, the point was, I explained to people, when you have a side hustle, keep your main job and let the side hustle be what it is. A side hustle. Money coming in. Money that you could do something with. It's like when people get something that's doing really good, they quit the main job and make the damn side hustle the main job and forget, now you got to pay everything at the side hustle. So it ain't fun anymore. It's a job now. No, but I could be doing one thing. See, if I'm making $3,000 on a side hustle a month, I could just cut, the regular job out. And I said, but you know what? Your regular job is consistent. It don't go up and down. You're going to make $3,000 a month at your job regardless, if that's what you make a month. But at the side hustle, man, it goes up and down. One moment you make $3,000 a month. One moment you may make 5 or 6 or 7. One month you may make $500 a month. Next month, 100. Shit, that's just the way how it all pans out. It's based on what people are willing to spend. And if they're not willing to spend anything at that time, you're not going to make any money. I see a lot of RC shops that used to sell remote control cars and all those hobby things closing because people are not shopping there anymore. Those kids are not there anymore. Those kids are grown-ass men now who are not into that hobby anymore. That was my generation, Generation X. A lot of comic book stores, I see a lot of that stuff closing. I see a lot of these mom and pop video game stores closing because what's happening is people are starting to look at their money. And this is the thing I never understood. Why open a video game store now? Why open a comic book store now? Why open a toy store, now, where people are guarded on their money? I understand, like I said, it takes a lot. Think about it. When you first open a store, everybody want to try it because, you got giveaways, you got certain things going on, you getting away free drinks, you may be getting out a free Switch 2 or something, anything. This is why people come to stuff like that. Then they want to have the pub themselves, if they're content creators, to say that it was there, what it was like. See, people do this stuff. But see, that's in the beginning. To keep that momentum going, you got to keep stuff going. And see, a lot of these places don't want to keep sales or deals going. Like I was saying to one guy who had a shop, and he was talking to me, saying that his money's down. He needs to find a way to get everything up. He needs to find out how to deal with the situation. And I was telling him, first thing I'm going to tell you to do, and I said, I'm going to be honest. First things first, you need to invest in a weekly sale. like either a sandwich or something or a drink or, some sort of, meal like you get, mom and pop, restaurant, you get a sandwich, a drink and some chips for a certain price. And I was like, man, you got to do some stuff. Then I said, you got to have a menu where people could actually shop on and not break the bank. And he was like, man, but see, that'll put me in a hole. I said, no, this will bring people in the door. I said, you need those people to come in to look at the rest of your menu. I said, if you ain't got nothing for them to come in, dude, you ain't gonna make no money. This is one of the reasons why small businesses are failing. A lot of these small businesses are failing because they don't listen to the customer. They don't listen to customers, not complaints, but customer input. They be like, man, you should really do this. You should really do that. This goes hand in hand with your business. And you know what? Anytime we see anything costing money, we want to stay away from it. But sometimes you got to embrace that shit, man. You got to look into it, man. The reason why they failing is because they failing. They failing because nobody's listening. Nobody's really going. Like after the initial open, where people had money to throw at stuff, man, the economy is bad as hell. And you think people aren't going to spend their last money with you, especially when you jack the damn price up? Come on, man. What are you thinking? Dude, if your restaurant used to be where I could go and, pick up something real fast, like some fast food, even though it's like a little mom and pop place, get some carry out, man, you be like two people, be like $20, $25, Now it's like $35, $40. And you sitting here like, yeah, no thanks. You start, like, well, we don't take them off the list and we don't put somebody else on there. And this is how it goes, man. People ain't trying to spend more for less. Those days of, excess is over. People looking at it like, yeah, this ain't working for me. So we're going to do something different, good luck with whatever you doing. And, like I said, shit, it's over. Bro, they making it seem like everything is wrong. Hell, do you know what happened on Black Friday and Cyber Monday for small businesses? They didn't make no money. And they were complaining. They were on TikTok complaining. A lot of store owners were complaining. You got a lot of people doing some foul shit. You got a lot of people, like when you go to places like Massachusetts and, you go up into some of the nice areas, they got these little boutique shops and stuff like that. And people selling clothes in there for $100 and $150. And you come to find out by looking at it, this shit is Amazon. You buy a $20 dress for like $150. This is the hellified part. See, this is why I say you got to pay attention to what the hell you doing. People will get over on you. But see, people nowadays ain't for that shit no more. People ain't for that bull. And they looking at it like, man, come on. Small businesses, man, leave it. Just leave it. Keep on doing your regular job and keep doing your small business. If you got it. If you got a side hustle, man, keep it. Man,